Dahe, thank you for making the time to be with us today. You've got a great deal of background in terms of climate change science and indeed informing policy in China. Now, outside of China, quite a lot is known about China's attitude towards climate change mitigation, but perhaps less so about adaptation. I wonder if you could just provide us with a bit of an overview of what China is doing in terms of climate change adaptation these days, and particularly in urban areas.
Yeah, but I think something a little bit wrong from outside of China, because actually the Chinese government policies is adaptation and mitigation together. So, but outside you heard a lot of words about the mitigation. But for the adaptation, there are a lot of things to do. For example, easy, good forecasts for climate. It is adaptation. The government and the local government, even some people, build the big dam along the coast region to avoid the sea level rising. It's also adaptation. So I was in charge of the China Meteorological Administration. We established over 130 weather radar to monitor weather, to make the better forecast. So it is a very important adaptation. So probably people make some mistake for that. I think as the scientist, I think for the resilience of the climate change, mitigation and adaptation together is better.
In the time that you've worked in meteorology, how well have you seen models improve? Because when we're talking about adaptation of cities actually need to know quite specific information about climate change impacts in that area. How well is that now being done in your view?
So the meteorology service is very important, not only for the city and also for the countryside. But however, the city expansion and bigger, very high density of the population, and of course valuable for the trash. So to look after the city, particularly mega city, is very, very important too. So in China, in each big city, there's themselves meteorology office called the City Meteorology Bureau to make the services. Actually, it's like the adaptation and services. So in China, in the central government, we call it the administration, China Meteorology Administration. It is the minister level. Employer almost 800,000 employees in our country. So
wow.
It's quite big ministry to make the service for weather, climate change, and water. So I think for the city or mega city, we pay a lot of attention to make the good service. For example, flooding, heavy raining in the city. If heavy raining in the countryside, far away, so that's a disaster, but not so big. But in the city, in Beijing, it will be damage the people's life and the buildings. So we have the very good forecasting system, 1 hour by hour. So and the government follow our forecasting to look to organize the people to avoid the loss of the disaster.
Dr. Xin, in my observation, the connection between science and policy in China is actually quite close. I mean, unusually so when you compare it to, a lot of other places. How has that come about, and how does it work so well?
It's a very interesting question. In China, it's very special. In America, in other countries, the politicians, they are from the political group people. But in China, many policymakers, they are from a professor, from scientists. That's the one reason. And they understand their background, they have the very strong background of science. That's make the policymakers easy, much easy, close to the scientists. That's the first reason, which is very important. And the second one is the government have the regulation that some important decision, they have to invite advisor from different fields, including scientists, professors. So like me, sometimes I was invited to the different level of the governments to discuss about the disasters, forecasting, something like that. So it's I think this way is useful to improve the government to make the good decision. Yeah.
One last question, Dr. Xin. How do you think urban adaptation to climate change in China could be further improved? What are the next steps that you think cities may need to take?
Yeah, for the urban adaptation of the climate change, it's not only for the meteorology bureau themselves. It's like many ministries, like the environment, for construction, building, and commercial, and hydrology and meteorology. They work together to improve design the policies of the adaptation of the megacity. Integrated policies from different ministries and departments.
Dr. Dahe, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.